Hey, welcome back to Jamieson's Repair Shop. I've got a lot of little things to do here. I've got this fitting pretty good, and it aligns well with the quarter panel. And I'm going ahead and I'm filling in these old plug weld holes or old spot weld holes. So they've been doing that, and now. And also I'll be fitting more on this panel right here, because this is the outer wheelhouse. So what has to happen here, this needs to be stepped in a little bit. There's some issues happening here now that I have all this put back where it's supposed to be. And then the back end of this panel needs to come out, and it has to go over top of this. So there's some work that needs to be done. So I just have it in place for now, and getting kind of a plan together, fixing up this area, and this area. And I've already welded those, so that'll be in the video too. So yeah, that's what this video is about. Just fine-tuning this outer wheelhouse extension. All right, doing a little test fitting here with this piece against the quarter panel, and. Yeah, this few things need to be done, some tweaking, but it fits good. That alignment hole is pretty darn close to that alignment hole on the quarter panel. And I have the quarter panel, you can tell by the spot holes in this drip rail are pretty much lined up where they need to be. And Nick was asking about fixing up this gasket rail and stuff. So once Nick, I'm gonna fill those holes, not the quarter panel ones, the ones underneath. I'm gonna fill them all. And then once I get the quarter panel back on, I'll just hammer and dolly this lip back around to where it needs to be. Time to do a little filling. So I finally found this Troy. I've been looking for this for days. Found it in a bin of clamps. So there you go. All right, I think you're going to be right in my way here, so I'm going to move you just a tiny bit. There you go. So what I do with this, I put it up under there, and it's copper, so the metal won't stick to the copper, and it allows me to fill these plug weld holes, these old spot weld holes. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And rather than doing a whole bunch in a row, I'm going to be jumping around a little bit to try to let them cool off. So I've got my copper plate underneath. You can see it there. And this is pretty much how I do the plug welds. So that's going to be enough for the plate. Now I can fill that in. And they'll take a little grinding, but that's hot enough, it melts down really nice. So let's do another one. I'll do one beside it, and then I'll move on after I do this. There. So I'll just keep doing a bunch of them, and they'll be all right as long as you get lots of heat, so it has a good bond, good penetration. All right, there we go. Got them all filled. I did a little bit of hammer and dollying on the gasket flange. May have gone a little too far with it. I think it needs to stand up. Like you see here, it stands up more, so I'll have to bring that back out a little bit. This isn't bad here, but these are all flattened out too much. But I'll bring them back out. That's easy to do. little bit of hammer and dolly. All right, now I got to get the ground down and make it look pretty. It needs to be flush because that's where the quarter panel sits on, and the quarter panel has to sit down properly. So, get them ground down and moving on. Alright, there she is. Got all those ground up, leveled out, and they're flush enough to seat the quarter back on. I gave it another shot of rust converter. Doesn't hurt to throw a little extra on, like John and I talked about that. A little extra rust converter doesn't cost hardly anything, and it picks up on stuff maybe that was missed before. Alright, so I got this flange looking this actual flange that's used to hold the seal in place. It's not perfect, but I can tap it along as I need. So now I have this, I didn't do these two holes because it looked a little thin up here, so I'm doing a little investigating. This definitely needs work up in here, so I'll be working on that too. So I have this panel, and the part of the tweaking, you can see this or not, we got the panel, and part of the tweaking is this piece needs to come in. It just needs to be brought in, rolled a little bit in and around further. So I'm just going to go over my with my rail here and try it. And if I need to get a T-dolly out or something, I'll have to make one, so I don't have one made, but I can make one pretty easy. I got everything to make it with. But for now, I'm just going to try to hammer form that around a little bit. Let's see if that helps. Let's go over and take a look. All right, now that we're over here, hopefully you can see this. I didn't shut the camera off, so we're all over the place. Get in there. Come on, get in there. All right, so that's getting better. Better. So it needs to come around more yet, right in this area. So I need to form it around a little bit more. This needs to be brought in some. Maybe I think this needs to go that. It's not 90, so I need to get this back to a 90 first. All right, so let me get on this. And you kind of get the idea what I'm doing there, so I don't think I'll bore you to death with the details, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm getting this better here. It's coming around pretty good. It's got a little tight. Just needs a little bit more forming there. But overall, not too bad. But it does have to come in. It has to make a little more room right here. This is all fitting pretty good. I actually took the chisel, cold chisel, and the hammer, and I made a little indent so I can pinch all this together to weld it in time. And then I went ahead and I put this in a vise, and I used the cold chisel just to form that lip or that step. And by doing that, it opened this up a little bit. So I'm going to have to do a little reworking up here. No problem. Oh, before I go, I haven't got my bird nest parts yet, but in that parts order, I have this drain here. And I need that to lay out this, well, I'd like to have it to lay out this indent for the drain, because according to what I saw on the different pictures, some that George sent, some that I had, that this was actually indented, and then this was more flat on the back sides for the drain to fit in. But But until I get the drain, I'm not going to touch that yet. And really, if I start indenting this, it will change this a little bit. So there is a couple of things that have to be dealt with there. All the little fun things that you have to do when you're tweaking these in. But it's coming. I mean, we're out back there. We're out maybe a quarter of an inch needs to come in. And that's just finagling that little back corner. All right, getting some fitting done. I have this, the factory curve of the old quarter panel still there. And I have this rock guard in. So now I'm just getting it so I can put this flange in. So once I put this flange in, I think it'll be good. It'll have to go in that way once the flange is in. Still having some issues up in this area. Without forcing it. So I'm going to have to bring this flange out some. All of it can be done, not a big deal. But I've been testing the fender skirt as I go, so you don't want to twist it. So this is fitting here. I just need to do a little bit work with this flange. It's not out far enough on that inner wheelhouse. But yeah, she's coming. Slow. I've had this quarter panel off a dozen times now or more, and it's fitting up here nicely. Obviously needs to be clamped together, but yeah, it fits there pretty good. Fits in the groove. I just took the clamp off so it popped up, so there's a little work to do there. Need to make a piece here for this because this is rusted out, and of course add a piece on to the top of the quarter. So I've been working on the quarter a little too, getting it worked out some. There's some low spots. You can see where I'm going over it with the paper. So it's a little wavy, which is expected when you start welding these things, so I can feel them. But, and that line, that body line needs to be crisped up a little bit. She's coming. And then once I get this wheelhouse extension fitting the way I want it, I can fill in the rest of that quarter panel and start repairing that quarter panel. So, looking good. Alright, there I got that. This part all honed in pretty good. The quarter panel has to go over it, so there needs to be a room for that right here. But I think that's close enough. I think that's looking pretty good. Yeah, so there's a little gap there to allow for the quarter panel to go over. Now, get all the stuff out of the way, I gotta tackle this end of it some. So, and I've been waiting for those bird nest parts, and they're stuck in Los Angeles. I wouldn't mind being stuck in Los Angeles, but anyway, well, maybe not in Los Angeles, but maybe rural of there. But yeah, I need that. Well, I don't need the plug. I could estimate where that goes, but this needs to be all pushed in so it goes on the other side. So the plug will be on the other side of that. This is the back side of it. So there's a little pressed in area there. And I also have to fix up here, obviously. When you start changing one end, it works its way right through. So I thought I would meet in the middle. I know that's good. And I'll lock that down solid, and I'll worry about doing this. So that'll I'll be doing next. All right, I got this piece here. This is, I'll show you where it comes from. I think I showed already, but this is a piece that goes up in underneath and continues on with this drip rail. So I noticed it was rusty. So I decided, well, focus there. I figured I'd go probably rebuild it, make a new one. And I started looking at it, and it's a unique build. It's made in 3 pieces, and the only piece that I need to rebuild is that insert right here, this piece where it's all rusted. And that all goes up and it kind of gets lost in there, so I'll have to blast cabinet this thing, but it's just a little strip of metal like an L bracket that goes in there. The rest is in good shape. So that'll be a part to make. pretty easy, a lot less complicated than I thought it was going to be. All right, there she is. She's fitting pretty good. So now, man, it's a beautiful sunny day out there. Look, the nicest day we've had in ages. Snow's melting, a lot better than the other day. Snow was up to the quarter way up in the door. All right, so I got her fitting here nicely. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier. It's all fitting. This is fitting nice. So 2 pieces to make. This piece here and this piece. So I have to make this support brace that's in here. So that's not a complicated piece. So we'll make that, and we'll make that drip rail piece. And then get all this stuff welded in. Seems to be fitting good. Primed and welded in. So with that, I'm gonna conclude this video. This video seemed like forever to get made. I don't know why, but this old panel is fitting pretty good. Well, you can see where I started to strip the paint off it. Wow, a lot of paint on this. Yeah, I didn't want to use the grinder up here. Yeah, like I did down here, because there's body lines. I didn't want to go into these and happen to nick one and have to fix it. So I've been using just stripper, paint stripper. Not the best. Of course, I hear though that Clean Strip has a new stripper out. I might have to see if I can find it somewhere. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Next video we'll be making these brackets up. Those pieces, and maybe if we get time we'll finish this quarter panel. There's a lot of work left to do in this quarter panel. It needs to be double welded, and then there's quite a bit of hammer and dolling to get the bulk of the high spots down and the low spots up, but those are just sitting and taking the time to do it. Alright, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next one.